Hi guys, it's Benjamin here, and the Big Tech Show is coming to you from the former Gold Coast, now known as Ghana. I've got one mission and one mission only, to track down Accra's biggest tech CEOs. Paul, Clydestone is an outlier. I mean, last year you celebrated 31 years old. How have you managed to exist for this long?
Well, it's staying focused,
Okay.
looking at solving problems in the marketplace and being able to adapt over time. Because if you don't adapt, then you become stale and you go out of business. Actually, Clydestone started in 1986 in the UK. So I started in 1986 in the UK, and I eventually set up the Ghana office in 1989. And I moved from the UK to Ghana. So Clydestone has been around for a long time, over 3 decades.
Yes.
So I think, when we started, the industry was very different from what it is now. And so we've worked on several products and projects, and we have evolved with time. We started just selling computers, fax machines, we're doing photocopiers, we did telephone systems. So as we grew, we realized that we had to diversify into areas where we can have a competitive edge, and not any and everybody can do what we do. So we branched into payment systems. But before that, we were into campus area networks. But before that, there was Novel networks. The internet was really starting at that time in '89. So things were a bit different, very rudimentary.
Yeah.
You didn't have all the gadgets and all the aids that you have now. So yes, it's been really interesting and fun, but also challenging and difficult.
Right. I can imagine, because when you were doing business, access to capital was still it was a big challenge, right?
It was. I've saved a lot of money in the UK.
Okay.
And I came down with a lot of enthusiasm and tried to use the few people I know to build a business. It was challenging because there were established businesses here who have been here for quite a while. So as a newcomer, you need to have a unique selling proposition. You need to have something very different to be able to break into the market. But luckily for us, at that time, there were bigger players like IBM in the market. They've been here for years, digital equipment. But we found a way to gradually build ourselves over time. Yeah. So it's not easy. Things are not as easy as now, where I could say it's not easy now, but it's more enabling.
Yes.
The environment, and also access to capital is easier.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned something about payments, right? If you look at funding in Africa, right, fintech startups had the bulk of it.
Yes.
Right. And how do you see yourself, playing in a space as an older player with these new age startups? How has it been, competing or working in that space?
Well, you see, the new age startups have easier access to capital.
Okay.
They are nimble on their feet. They don't have any legacy. Okay, so they are new, and they have a lot of capital chasing them. Technology has evolved. It has changed. We have new startups that can scale very quickly. When I was in business, when we started, if you want to deploy a switch, for example, you have to buy the hardware. You have to buy the database. You have to ensure you have all the necessary space to actually build a small data center. But today, if I want to start, I can go on Azure or AWS. I can set up a virtual machine. I can use HSM as a service, because as a payments, you need an HSM.
What's HSM?
An HSM is the hardware security model that will work on the cryptography for you, so that is like the keys, exchange of keys, and trying to come up with algorithm that you cannot copy. That is the HSM. But now you can have HSM as a service. So instead of spending maybe $40,000 on an HSM, you can actually pay maybe $400 and you have use of an HSM. Yeah. So you see the environment is very different now. It's become more accessible and also very, I think, fast to roll out. currently, there's a lot of capital awash for fintechs. It doesn't mean it's easy to start. You still need to have a good idea, you have a good app behind you, and that's determination, and I think you can succeed. But regulatory environment has also changed. You know, when you have all these PSP license and all the regulatory, you know, you have to also ensure that you meet certain industry standard like ISO, you know, and PCI DSS. So even though it's also very easy to get into fintech, you also have to ensure that you maintain regulatory compliance.
In Nigeria, right, when people start out, they think of expansion. So many people always look to Ghana first. Maybe because of proximity, I don't know. But what can you say about the Ghana tech ecosystem? And how is that either enabling or encouraging other companies to build here, right? Or even scale from here to the world?
Well, I think it's always the environment, you know. An environment, you know, there are various aspects that you look at. Is it the ease of maybe setting up a company? Is it ease of constant power supply? Is it access to capital? Obviously, that we have Nigerian banks in Ghana. We don't have Ghanaian banks in Nigeria because of scale. You know, you need a lot of capital. So in terms of Nigerian companies, is there maybe Ghana and Nigeria have a sort of relationship? So that's the next step. Before you go to a French-speaking country like Ivory Coast, or you go to Togo, you think about Ghana. I think also because our education system are also similar, we write the same WASI with you, West Africa Exams Council. And I think in terms of growing the business, Ghana is the ultimate place to come, because obviously now in West Africa, we're trying to, you know, have systems that will make people come here. Twitter came here recently, and before that, Google came here. So I think the environment is enabling, and also I think the skill sets are here. You know, we have a lot of educational establishment training the youth in ICT, etc. So I think if you can have constant electricity supply, you know, infrastructure is here. We have digital hubs where you can actually go set up an office very quickly. So I think the environment is enabling. So that's why it will be the ultimate location to come before you go to Rwanda or go to Kenya. You know, those markets have their own, you know, unique sets of, you know, barrier to entry, or even competition there is much different. Okay, so Ghana is
so let's say I am a new fintech startup, right? Either from Ghana, and I wanted to launch in Ghana.
Yes.
How do I know, or what are the things I need to do, or what are the licenses I need to get, or how do I even know about all these things?
Okay, so now the regulatory framework has changed a little bit. Now we have the, you know, the Payment Systems Act, which was introduced a couple of 2 years ago. Okay. It means to be in the fintech business, you need to get licensed. Okay. So there are different categories of licenses. There's a standard license, the medium license, then you have the enhanced payment service provider license. Then you move to the card schemes, and after that you go to the e-money issuers. Okay. Okay, so the e-money issuers are those who has wallets like MTN or Vodafone, you know, where they have a mobile wallet. So that is the highest license category. Then you step back to the card schemes. The card schemes are your Visa, MasterCard, but obviously that is not too clearly defined, but obviously they are also supposed to be licensed. Because in the past, Visa can come into Ghana or MasterCard and just do business, but they are not licensed here. The bank that they are working with need to seek approval from the central bank, but they don't have any licensing requirements locally for them to adhere to. So they were just coming and doing the business, okay? Now, as those incumbents or those who are here, you know, once there's no licensing regime, it means they have more capital, so they can crowd us out of the market. But now that there's licensing, each and everyone has to play in their space, be regulated accordingly. So, for example, the standard license is for startups. Okay. You don't need any capital. You just need to apply to the central bank, and you have to work with an enhanced PSP. So if you have 5,000 Ghana cedis, that is what you use to apply in terms of the licensing application, etc. But you don't need any capital. When you move to the next level, which is medium, you need to have, I think, 800,000 Ghana cedis as the capital.
How much is that in dollars?
That's about 100, maybe $120,000. Okay. And when you move to the standard enhanced license, you need 2 million cedis. Right. Okay. If you've been in the business for some time, you pay probably half of that. But that is a special arrangement for those who have been in the industry for some time, because they've expended time, capital,
you already have assets that
over time.
You can.
Okay, so if you're coming in here, you need to know which category you can belong to. And if you are going to be either a medium or enhanced PSP, you need to have certain certifications in place. You be ISO 2701 certified, you have to have PCI DSS. So you must know where you are coming to play. Okay, before you set out. But I think it's clear, once you are able to fulfill the requirements, you can set up shop and compete.
So, I mean, this is very similar to even what's happening right now in Nigeria. Right? You know, the regulators have also put forward like a 3-tier license system, you know, national, super, and all of that. Like we've seen so far, regulation is always trying to catch up with innovation, right? Are things or topics like cryptocurrency, are they a big deal in Ghana? Is this something people talk about? Is it something the regulators or even the innovators are looking at as the future?
Well, they are, but they're also being very cautious. I mean, at the moment, there's a directive. You can't deal in these cryptocurrencies. You can't actually trade in them, etc. People are doing it, but the regulators are yet to put the necessary framework in place to regulate them accordingly. If you don't know something very well, you can't regulate. I'm not saying they don't know it, but you know the way it is developing and the speed at which it's catching up. I think you need to, you know, be careful how you open up. Okay, so I think gradually they may get to it. There's a lot of dialogue going on, and hopefully the regulators will catch up. I mean, I've read what's happening in Nigeria. I mean, countries are beginning to look at cryptocurrency, like in China, to have a digital currency. Okay, so the technology behind it being blockchain and federated ledgers, etc. So, you know, I think it's all to do with technology and the speed at which regulators can catch up. And be able to regulate. Otherwise, if there's no regulation, then you know, then it becomes like a Ponzi scheme of some sort.
True. Because almost everything people don't understand always ends up as like a Ponzi scheme.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's gradually gaining traction, but it will take time for it to be, you know, the norm.
So let's look at maybe the next decade for Clydestone, right? We can start with 2 years. What are like your short-term plans or medium-term and long-term plans for Clydestone?
Okay, I think Clydestone has currently our customers are banks. We only work with banks. We don't have any other customer but banks, okay? And we help banks to clear their checks, to move their monies, okay? What we've been trying to do with the evolution of globalization and digitization is to try and find unique products that are Clydestone products. Products that we want to take to market to engage the customer directly. Okay, so at the moment, we don't own customers. The bank owns the customers. We are servicing the bank. The current products that we are bringing to market is, we have a product called The One. It's a I Am The One, which is authentication as a service platform. Because as digitization is expanding, people are using their mobile phones to transact. They must be able to identify themselves. They must be able to sign transactions. Because the platform is to enable service providers, whether they are fintechs or microfinance companies or banks, to be able to use our platform to offer a second or third level of authentication for those using their services. Okay, so The One, you can go to the site, which is iamtheone.com, which means I am the one undertaking this transaction. And so when you are dealing with me, you know I am the one. Okay, so if you look at digitization, what is happening in most parts of the world, especially in Europe, is what we call the digital ID. Because as much as you can have an ID card, which is your physical ID card, you can have a smart chip. In order for you to identify yourself, you need to tap that chip, and you probably need to authenticate yourself using your fingerprint. Now, your phone also has authenticators on them. Okay, so when we're talking about digital identity, we are trying to ensure that we capture your identity on your phone using your fingerprint or your voice or your iris, and therefore The One enables us to do just that. So when you are signing onto your bank account or you are transacting, you need to use your fingerprint to authenticate. Say, I'm the one. You log onto your platform. If you are transferring money, okay, say 50 CDs or 50 Naira, you've heard of money in middle attacks. Okay, so someone can intercept your transmission and change that 50 to 500, or 5,000. So when we talk about transaction signing, our solution enables you to put in the 50, put in maybe the recipient's account number. It will then sign the transaction and generate a unique code, which then goes to the bank, which means the transaction is secure.
So you build products next, then after building products, what's the next step?
Okay, so now the subscribers or the banks can give that to their customers to protect their apps. Okay, that's I am the one. The other thing that we have come out with is a unique product. It's called Pay with ID. So pay with your identity. That's what Pay with ID is. So what Pay with ID does is that, let's assume you want to shop online. Currently you shop online, you go online, you put in your card details. Maybe your bank or fintech may offer you a one-time password that comes to your phone, and then you enter that. With Pay with ID, you download the app, you register, and then you select the authenticators on your phone, and then we create a private key on your phone. So your private key is like a unique identifier.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we create a public key at our back end. So in order for you to transact, you need to match your private key to the public key. So when you go online and you want to buy something, maybe you want to buy a pair of jeans, and you see the Pay with ID logo, you say Pay with ID, you click on that, and you want to buy it for 200. It will send a push notification to your phone. So the first thing is that will wake up your phone, will give you a gesture that there's a transaction come for you. You use your fingerprint or a pin, whichever you selected. Then it pushes the transaction. They want to debit you. Do you agree? You accept? It's okay. Put in your finger and sign the transaction. Once you sign it, we link it to a dynamic code, and then you process the transaction.
Okay.
So no one can scam you or, sort of like undertake transactions without your authority. So we say Pay with ID, we mean every transaction that comes to your account, you have to authenticate to ensure that it's you. So you can imagine how that could, revolutionize the payment space. Okay. So those are sort of things we are doing currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after you build these products, we had a conversation about what could are you looking at other expansions? So from either Nigeria, Kenya, where you are?
We are currently working in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We're working with one of a couple of people. We're actually in a project at the moment. So our products are coming to Nigeria. You are a bigger market.
Yes.
And when it comes to scaling your business, it's location.
Yeah.
Ghana has its own population. It's about 32 million. I think those using mobile money around 14.5 million active users. In terms of bank accounts, just about under 42% still don't have bank accounts. Okay, so there's opportunity for growth there. But if you want to scale your business to get sort of valuations that you are seeing in Nigeria, then you have to go to Nigeria. Kenya is another area where we've been. Work with the banks. We work with UnionPay International, the Chinese Bank Card Association, where we are an acquirer and a third service provider. So we actually offer services in that country for the banks as well to be able to acquire UnionPay transactions. Okay. So those are the sort of things. We also, in December, we received an FCA license in the UK because we want to scale Pay with ID to the UK. So we were able to secure a license, just like you will in Ghana for a PSP. In the UK, it's the FCA license. So we got a payments institution license in the UK. So we'll be rolling out a product in the UK this year.
It's interesting to hear that you're going back to the UK, right? Are you like going home? What's the plan?
Well, I guess 35 years ago, I started in the UK. I guess the roots have always been there. I would say the UK fintech environment is also quite developed. And with open banking, you can actually easily link to a bank and launch your service. I must say also here in Ghana, the Bank of Ghana just launched a regulatory sandbox. Okay, which means if you can develop your product, then you can actually test against the sandbox. So going to the UK is trying to expand the brand, trying to globalize and create, a global footprint, really. In the UK, formerly it would be Europe, but now it's just the UK because of Brexit. But I think going back to the UK is to also expand the business, ensure that, I can leave behind a good succession plan, ensure that the company is not focusing only on one market, so the business is spread. I know it's risky and you need a lot more time and effort, but nothing comes easy. You need to put in the work. You have to dream big, and you also have to ensure that you grow the company to an extent where it can outlive you. Yes. Maybe they're 100-year-old companies. I hope Clydestone is a 100-year-old company.
Nice.
So in trying to do all these regulatory compliance things, PCI DSS, ISO, we're also laying the structures for succession planning, so that when I'm not here, the business can grow. I don't want Clydestone to be like all the other businesses that I started with 31 years ago who are no longer here in Ghana.
Yeah.
So I think you need to keep, blazing the trail. You have to step into new territories. You have to, man up. And if you want to be a well-known hunter, you have to take on, the big game. So yeah.
Okay. What has been your biggest challenge so far? And I mean, you can speak about it from a business and a personal point of view. Because I know, like, running a business takes a mental toll on people,
Yes.
right? And even just getting it to where you want to be, the sleepless night. What has been your own biggest challenge so far?
I think the challenge is, sometimes it's not only the capital part of it or the service, it's also the people. And being able to, grow a business using people. You can't grow a business alone.
Yeah.
You need to be relentless. Okay. Your quest to overcome challenges. It's not easy. You have to put your eye on the bigger prize. It's not just the money. It's trying to build something that will outlast you. So you have to keep at it. It can be difficult, but one thing is that while you are building, you have to be fighting, because don't forget, when you are building something, somebody else is also trying to pull you down.
Yeah.
So it's important to keep focused, work hard. Just the dream, if you have the dream and you know where you want to get to and you keep to it and you are passionate about what you do, you will succeed. No distractions. There will be distractions, there will be challenges, there will be times when you feel, why am I even doing this? But once you believe in yourself and you look at the bigger picture and look at all the other people who follow you and learn from what you have been able to achieve. So I think, you have a responsibility to the youth and the responsibility to yourself to come and do the best that you can before, you leave the scene.
Thank you very much, Paul. I've enjoyed talking to you and learning about your entrepreneurship escapades. I'm looking forward to catching up after.
Thank you too. It's been great talking to you.
All right.
Grateful. I am Paul Jacquaye, CEO of Clydestone, on the Big Tech Show, brought to you by Accelerate TV and the AFF.
All work and no play. You know how the saying goes. Accra, all my guests, you've been so warm. Till next time, I'm Benjamin, and this is the Big Tech Show.